Welcome to the Bodhi Academy. My name is Amisha Classo, and in today's video we'll continue with our chapter of class 7, physical and chemical changes. So previously in this chapter we understood what are physical changes. So in a physical change, a new substance undergoes changes only in its physical properties such as the shape, size, color and state. And the most important thing is that there is no new substance that is being formed. Other than this, some of the characteristics of physical changes are: firstly, no new substance is formed in this change. Second, it is a temporary change and it can be reversible. A temporary change in color may take place. Very little energy, heat, etc. is either absorbed or it is evolved. Next, we discussed about the chemical changes. So the chemical changes are also called chemical reactions. A chemical change occurs when two substances react chemically to form a new substance which has different chemical properties than the starting substances. Characteristics of chemical changes are: heat, light or any other radiation, example ultraviolet, may be given off or it can be also absorbed. The sound may be produced. A change in smell may take place or a new smell may be given off. A color change may take place. A gas may be formed. Last, we discussed about the chemical changes in our daily life. Some examples were an explosion of fireworks, food getting spoiled, leaving unattended a slice of apple or potato, acid-base reaction, photosynthesis and digestion of food. In today's video, we will discuss about two very important phenomena, that is rusting of iron and crystallization. Now, rusting of iron. So, when an iron object it is left unattended with exposure to air and moisture, it chemically reacts with oxygen and water in the air to form a red-brown flaky substance that is called as the rust. Now, this process of rusting, it can be represented by this following equation. So, we have iron, then we have oxygen from the air and we have the water, that is the moisture that is present around. So, this together forms the rust, and rust is basically iron oxide, that is Fe2O3. Rusting occurs in the presence of both oxygen and water. So, for rusting to occur, we need both the factors. If we have only oxygen, rusting won't occur. We need even the water and vice versa. So, therefore, both are mandatory for rusting to occur. The more humid the air, the faster the rusting occurs. So, more humid means there is going to be more moisture in the atmosphere and therefore the rusting will occur even faster. The rust slowly eats away or corrodes the iron, leading to considerable loss. So, after some time that layer forms and then the iron gets corroded and this leads to very huge losses. Since iron is used in making bridges, ships, cars, truck bodies and many other articles, the monetary loss due to rusting is huge. So, most of these articles like bridges, ships, truck bodies, etc., they are all made from iron. So, they lead this rusting process of iron leads to a very huge loss to such industries. Now, how we can prevent this rusting? Preventions of rusting. Rusting can be prevented by not allowing the iron to come in contact with moisture and air. So, one thing is, obviously you have to cut down the source. The source is the moisture and air. Now, you cannot reduce the humidity or the moisture level outside. So, you have to do something to the metal itself. So, the simplest method is to coat the iron with oil, grease or paint. These coats should be applied regularly to prevent rusting. So, one easy way method out is we have to apply oil, grease or paint. This will prevent the iron to directly get exposed to the moisture out there. A more efficient method is to coat the iron with another metal such as zinc or chromium. Now, another method is to coat this iron with layers of zinc or chromium. The process of depositing a layer of zinc on iron is called as galvanization. So, the process in which we put up a thin layer of zinc on the iron material, that process is called as galvanization. So the iron pipes we use in our homes to carry water are galvanized to prevent rusting. So we imagine now every day we get water supply into our homes and all, everything is there. So in that case what they are doing, they are preventing this rusting by doing the process of galvanization, that is coating it with a layer of zinc. Now, rusting of ships is a major problem in the shipping industry. Why do you think so? That is because maximum time the bottom of the ship is into the water. So, for them, this is the major problem that the ship industry is facing. As the body of a ship is always in contact with the water and the air around it is also very humid. So the salt in water which is present, okay, we all know ocean water, sea waters, they have salt, high amount of salt. So this salt that is present in the water, it even speeds up the process of rusting. This leads to a huge monetary loss to the shipping industry. So imagine each part of the ship, each ship having the same problem, the bottom of it gets corroded, that is leading to a lot of loss to the shipping industry. So rusting of iron can be prevented by allowing it to make stainless steel. So now we are moving towards more something more which is, you know, apart from iron we are moving to stainless steel. Why? Because that is more less likely to get corroded. Stainless steel is made of mixing iron with carbon and other metals like chromium, nickel and manganese, and these do not rust or they don't corrode. So therefore we are moving more towards the stainless steel. Now next we have crystallization. So seawater contains salt dissolved in it which makes it salty. So we have learned in class 6 that salt can be obtained from seawater by the process of evaporation. So as the water will go off, we'll get the salt back. This is the simplest phenomena that happens in the salt panels. The evaporation of water takes place and we are left with the salt. So the salt obtained in this matter is not pure and its crystals are very small. Why? Because seawater has many other impurities just apart from the salt. So if you try to evaporate water, only water will get evaporated. Rest of the impurities are still going to remain in that seawater. Therefore, salt obtained in this matter is said not to be pure. The shapes of crystals cannot be seen clearly. Also, the crystals are so small, so therefore you cannot even see them properly. Large crystals of pure substances can, however, be obtained from their solutions by the process of crystal. So now, larger crystals which are pure, they can be obtained by this process called as crystallization. It is an example of physical change. So the process of cooling a hot concentrated solution of a substance to obtain its crystals is called as crystallization. So say you have any hot solution which is highly concentrated, say it has high amount of salt in it. So what you do, you eventually cool it. You can cool it at room temperature or you can even use a ice bath. In that case you will obtain the crystals much faster. So this process is known as crystallization. The process of crystallization is used to obtain crystals of a pure solid substance from the impure solid substance. So in this we can even get pure crystals from the impure crystals. Impure copper sulfate powder can be purified by the process of crystallization to obtain large crystals of pure copper sulfate. So this was one example of crystallization, how to get pure crystals from a impure copper sulfate powder. So that was it for this chapter. So in this chapter we discussed the various physical changes, then we talked about their characteristics. We further went to the chemical changes, talked about their characteristics, and we also understand some daily life examples that we see which have this phenomena of chemical changes. Further, we understood the rusting of iron, we understood what is the chemical reaction that happens. Then we also learned how we can prevent this rusting from happening, that is from starting at a low scale. We said that we can use oil, grease or paint. If you want to go a little higher, then we can do the process of galvanization, that is coating the iron with a layer of zinc. Even and for ships and all, we said that we can move towards more stainless steel. We also learned the process of crystallization, in which we learn how the process of cooling of hot concentration of solution of a substance to obtain crystals is called as crystallization, and this can be also used to purify any given crystals. So that was it for today's video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Bodhi Academy.